We're going to be doing live Q&A. Any health questions, anything in regards to thyroid, hormones, energy, digestion, anything at all, put those questions down below. Love seeing you guys. And we're going to get cranking here. So welcome. All right, we're live. Okay, welcome everybody. Dr. Ben here, F8 Well Centers. We're going to be talking about health issues of any kind, whether you're having autoimmune, whether you're having digestion, whether you're having anything with thyroid, brain function, anxiety, anything at all. Put those questions down below. I answer them in the order they come in. So if you get your questions in first, I'll be able to answer those. Most of the time with these live Q&As, we get hundreds of questions. I don't get through all of them. So welcome, guys. Hey, Duncan Buck 2.0, good to see you. Put down below where you guys are watching from. Love to see you guys all over the country, all over the world. Yesterday, we had some from the United Arab Emirates. We have Ireland, all over the place. So I'll give you guys a shout out, as well as your questions down below. Dr. Ben Galliard, F8 Well Centers. We have offices in Colorado, offices in Tennessee, and we work with patients remotely all over the country, even around the world. So upstate New York, good to see you there. And we look at, I went to Syracuse for undergrad, and so we look a little bit like that today. We're about 6 inches of snow, and it was negative 18 this morning when I got up. Negative 18. That is very cold. It was 56 yesterday, and now it's negative 18 today. It is crazy. So again, welcome everybody. Put down below where you guys are watching from. I'll give you a shout out, and we'll talk about whatever health conditions you have going on in there. I know one of the big things that people ask about is, where does anxiety come from? And this was a question I had earlier. And anxiety is going to be the body's response to some type of a threat. So that could be a threat of something coming from a food, something. Hey, Irene from Norway, sweet, good to see you. And Michelle in Virginia, good to see you as well. So anxiety, the big part with anxiety that I look for is random anxiety. And this is the one that there's usually a physiological response from and cause from. So random anxiety is usually a blood sugar issue, usually from that blood sugar crashing down and that blood sugar hypoglycemia going on, and then the adrenals kick in and they tell the liver to kick out glucose. So then you've got glucose floating through the body, but you also have adrenaline going through the body. So if you are having random anxiety, if you're waking up in the middle of the night sweating, heart racing, brain going, anything where it is just kind of this exaggerated response and you don't have a reason why, it is usually because of the blood sugar crashing down there. So intermittent fasting, 18 and 6, very slow digestion. So Katie's having some slow digestion. She's intermittent fasting. One of the things that I really advise people for when they're thinking about intermittent fasting is to make sure they're not going hypoglycemic, that they don't have adrenal fatigue, and that they are not hypoglycemic in general. So what happens is, if somebody has adrenal fatigue and then they go into a fasting state, again, they're asking the adrenals to stimulate the liver to kick out glucose just to keep that nice and steady in there. But if you're already adrenally fatigued, it's very challenging on the adrenals. And then the other part with the intermittent fasting is that most people do it opposite and do it wrong. They say, oh, I'm just going to skip breakfast. Super easy. A lot of people skip breakfast. They just have some coffee and go from there. But that is actually not the good way to do intermittent fasting. The best intermittent fasting is to finish eating by like 5 o'clock at night, and then you don't eat again until that next morning. And 18 and 6 is a little short there. I would go more of like a 16-8. And so if you're done eating at 4 or 5, then you would eat by like 8 or 9 that next morning. And here's what happens is, if you are in more of a fasting state before bed, your brain is actually going to repair better. And if you have family history of Alzheimer's, dementia, anything like that, you want to look at being able to be in that fasting state there as well. So let's go here. Good question, Katie. Michelle in Virginia, good to see you. And again, Irene in Norway. Brenda, which bread is better for a diabetic, sourdough bread or Ezekiel bread with sprouted grains? From Louisiana. Hey, Brenda. Here's what we're looking at. The bread that's going to be best for you is the one that when you check your blood sugar, it doesn't go above 110. The bread that does not create inflammation in your body, the bread that doesn't make you gain weight or you get puffy and can't take your ring off, the bread that is going to be it's going to be the one that you have regular bowel movements and just feel good with. So that's the bread that you want. The problem is that so many people, they're like, oh, sourdough is supposed to be good for you. I made it myself, all these things, but it's not, because the blood sugar still spikes up, or they still get a digestion issue or some different things. So absolutely, it's the one that you're able to do best with and feel best with there. So again, anybody jumping on, put your questions down below. Dr. Ben Gallier here at FA Well Centers. Love seeing you guys. All sorts of questions we're going to be answering today. Anything and everything you've got. Good question. Stress, lack of certain nutrients, vitamins, etc. Laura Lynn, good to see you. All right, teen with sudden anxiety at bedtime and early in the morning, brain fog dysfunction, history of Lyme, mold, wondering what to test. There we go. So Kimberly, we've got some issues there with a teen, and we call that random anxiety. So random anxiety is going to be where it just comes on out of the blue. Random anxiety is going to be in the middle of the night, in the morning, sitting in their classroom at school. I've had teenage girls that their blood sugar crashes down in the 30s and 40s, and it is so much of a drop that then the adrenals kick in, and then they got this adrenaline going through, and now they're dealing with this fight or flight response and this random anxiety. So absolutely, you need to look into that blood sugar. So you want to test, one, if you're doing blood work, do it non-fasting. You want to look for glucose, you want to look for triglycerides, you want to look at all of these different markers, and hold on, and all these different markers, and see what is going on in those non-fasting. And so she might be having insulin resistance, she might be crashing down. You can get a finger prick glucose monitor when she's having that anxiety attack. You might be able to catch it if it's a low. The number one best thing you can do is get a continuous glucose monitor, slap that patch on your arm, on the abdomen, and you're able to see 24/7 what that blood sugar is doing. Yes, Lyme and mold can be energy issues, can be some pain, inflammation, some stuff like that. But the random anxiety probably coming from that blood sugar. Get this, guys. I'll put the research up later. But a new study just came out that anxiety absolutely can be driven by aspartame. Aspartame is what's in Diet Coke, diet sodas, so many gums, all these different things. And there's a huge connection between aspartame, not just it's a neurotoxin, but it can drive anxiety. So we see that all the time. Hey, Patricia, good to see you. What's best treatment for severe leg pain? I have rheumatoid arthritis. So Patricia, the first thing you have to do is calm down that immune inflammatory cascade in your body. So think about this. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune disease. Is the severe leg pain from the rheumatoid arthritis or just from inflammation? It almost doesn't matter, because we've got to now take a step back and calm down that immune inflammatory cascade. So write these down, and these are the systems you need to look at. You need to look at your adrenals. Make sure that your adrenals are working like they're supposed to. That's your stress glands. Look at your blood sugar. Make sure it's 85 to 110 all day long. You need to look at leaky gut. Eosinophils is a great marker to look at in your blood work. If it's over 2%, usually some type of leaky gut. You need to look at your vitamin D. If you've got autoimmune, it needs to be closer to 80. You need to look for what your hormones are doing. Make sure you're clearing out your estrogens. Make sure you're any infections that you've got going on. Any of these different things, you've got to make sure that your body is not overstimulating and causing this inflammatory state and attacking your own tissue, because there's a good chance if you have one autoimmune condition, you have multiple. All right, sorry about that. Need a little drink. Isabella, I keep coughing up mucus for 2 years and Mucinex doesn't help. What should I do? So mucus, the body is trying to protect, it's trying to coat, it's trying to get something out. The first thing I would do, Isabella, is to look into pulling out some allergenic foods. Some of those would be gluten, corn, soy, dairy, even some nuts, even beans can do it. So look at your allergenic foods there. Look up autoimmune paleo diet and do that for 2 weeks. I almost guarantee that mucus will clear up. If it doesn't, then you need to start doing some sinus irrigation. You need to check your house for mold. You need to look and see if there's anything else that's actually affecting it in there as well. But start with the food. That's going to be a great place to start. All right, Emma, I'm a cupcake. My A1C is 11.9. I just started Ozempic. So I'm a cupcake. Hopefully that doesn't mean you eat cupcakes, because cupcakes are going to contribute to 11.9 A1C. A1C is the average of the last 3 months of your blood sugar. So if your A1C is 11.9, that is full-blown uncontrolled diabetes. We don't like it over, I like it 5.1 to 5.3, 5.7 is pre-diabetes, and then you get into 6.0 and above and you're in the diabetic range. So A1C of 11.9 is crazy high. That's like, I don't know, 220, 250 average, something like that. Ozempic will not fix that. Ozempic, Mounjaro, metformin, any of these diabetes drugs, they do not fix it. They'll help lower that blood sugar a little bit, but ultimately, I'm a cupcake. Go get on a continuous glucose monitor, and your doctor should, if they don't, you insist on it, they should give you a continuous glucose monitor. Put that on, and you'll start learning exactly why it goes up, why it goes down. If they won't, let us know. We work with patients all over the country. It's prescription only, but we can get it to anybody out there. And so, click that link down below. If you guys are dealing with health issues, if you're not getting answers, not getting the results that you want, click that link down below, schedule that discovery call, and let's go over what you have going on, whether that's diabetes, whether that's inflammation, autoimmune, any of these things. Let's talk about it. Tara, hello from Tennessee. Hey there, we've got an office in Brentwood outside Nashville. Severe mood swings before menstrual cycle, including depression, increased food cravings, acne, psoriasis, brain fog. It jumped ahead. Hold on a second. Let me get back to that one. And can't lose weight even with exercise and calorie management. Are these all autoimmune related? So, when we're looking at depression and increased food cravings around the menstrual cycle, that's not necessarily autoimmune. That could be any number of things. That could be a hormonal imbalance. That could be blood sugar issues, a bunch of different things there. Acne, you've got to look on the inside. So you've got to think about leaky gut, microbiome issues. You've got to look into even the hormones could play a role in that. Psoriasis, yes, psoriasis is autoimmune. Now you've got to look at what you have going on from an autoimmune state. Adrenals, blood sugar, estrogenic events, vitamin D, get it up to 80, infections, chronic infections like Epstein-Barr virus, environmental toxins, leaky gut, food allergies, all these different things. You got to fix those. Check out my YouTube channel. If you guys have not seen that, have not subscribed to that one, go ahead and jump on YouTube, subscribe to that. I've got over 700 videos, tons of content out there. You guys could watch, binge watch for days. I don't necessarily encourage that, but it is possible. Brain fog, get a brain map done. Come into the Nashville office. Let's get a brain map. see if there's any ADD, anxiety, whatever's going on. And then the can't lose weight, you might have Hashimoto's, you might have thyroid issues, so many different things going on there. So they're not all autoimmune related, but all of those things could be driving autoimmune. Felicia, hello from Texas. Thoughts on a vagal nerve reset and deep breathing to ease parasympathetic nerves? Also, what about red light therapy? So vagus nerve, the best way to reset, stimulate, rebuild, renourish your vagus nerve is coffee retention enemas. All of you are like, I ain't doing no enema. Well, if your vagus nerve is bad enough, you will do a coffee retention enema. It is amazing. It is the #1 thing that can help your vagus nerve. Any of the machines, any of those things, I just have not seen any that I recommend that I'll sell to patients or anything. Red light therapy, sure, that can be helpful for some different things. But if you're having, if you need parasympathetic, you're probably in sympathetic overdrive. You probably have high alpha in your brain map. You probably need some neurofeedback. Get a brain map done, do neurofeedback, coffee retention enemas, and you'll be a different person. And let's go here. Hold on, I jumped ahead a bunch. If I don't have gabapentin, it's literally all day. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty intense. Gabapentin is a pretty hardcore drug. And again, it's an inflammatory process. OCD is killing me. Alan Young, yeah, here's the deal. OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, it is a brain thing. We can actually see it in what's called a brain map. A brain map is a quantitative EEG. We do this in each one of our offices. We'll put a cap on people. There's electrodes on there where we're detecting electrical activity, just like running an EKG on the heart. I've seen so many people calm down their anxiety, their OCD, their rumination, their worry, they're just overreactive, all of these things. If you have those markers in that brain map, and then you're able to do neurofeedback, and we do neurofeedback on all of our patients in office, as well as home units around the country. So if you're having OCD, yes, you need to work on your blood sugar and leaky gut and all these things, but ultimately you've got to look at that brain, and that's a huge part of it. What's good for diverticulitis? Deptam. So diverticulitis is where in that large intestine it's inflamed, that itis, and the little diverticuli are inflamed, and they say, oh, don't eat nuts, don't eat seeds, roughage, things like that. But really, this is an inflammatory condition. There is autoimmune component to it. We know it is driven by food allergens. One of my cousins, he's got diverticulitis, and when we invite him over for something, and he called, oh, I had a rough night in the bathroom, or I've been in the toilet all morning, and I go, oh, what'd you eat last night? Well, I had a sandwich. Or, for him, gluten is really bad, dairy is bad. There's certain foods that can drive that, and it's just not constructive. So diverticulitis, take out food allergens. You want to look at your microbiome. So you want to kill off bad yeast, bad bacteria. The Oregano Max, Brittany, if you want to put a link for that one at the Well Store, f8wellstore.com. The Oregano Max that we have is amazing, and that's going to kill off the bad stuff. Then you bring in the good bacteria. You can look into taking more digestive enzymes, bile salts if you have your gallbladder removed. A bunch of different things in there can be helpful. And this is what we do with patients every single day in our F8 centers around the country. I've got half a dozen doctors that work with me. We've got over 100 years of experience, and we're able to make dramatic changes in people's lives because we get to the underlying root cause. This is not about, oh, let's cover it up with a supplement and cover up a symptom. It's about getting to the root cause of what is truly going on, and that's our goal here. Watching from Montana, lots of cold weather here, 27 below, bloody nose weather. Low. How much vitamin C do you suggest during winter months? Yeah, we were like negative. It's -9 now, but it was like -18 this morning, and it was craziest thing last night or afternoon. So we hit 56 for a high yesterday, and at like 3 o'clock, it was over 50. and by 3:30 it was about 10 degrees out, and by 6 o'clock it was below zero. It literally hit within seconds. My kids, I was in the office with patients, but my kids were out there running around getting the chickens and ducks ready and everything for the cold. We knew it was coming, and it within seconds. My son went inside, grabbed his jacket, went back outside, didn't have gloves, and it was warm, 45, 50 degrees, whatever it was, and then within seconds his hands were like freezing. You couldn't even feel them. It was the craziest thing. So how much vitamin C? I would say 1,000 milligrams a gram a day is probably good on the vitamin C. Vitamin D, enough to get up closer to 80. So for a lot of people, that's like 10,000 vitamin D. If you don't know what your vitamin D is, you need to get that tested. If your doctor won't test it, or if you haven't been to the doctor in a long time, let us know. We can get blood work done anywhere in the country. And if you're out in the middle of nowhere, we can drop ship a kit to you as well. And let's go through autoimmune inflammation. This is Caitlin Dorsey. Yeah, so you've got this autoimmune inflammatory cascade is what I call it. And autoimmune, the average person that has one autoimmune, they have multiple autoimmune. So if you've got Hashimoto's, very likely you have lupus or some other type of autoimmune condition. So again, you don't just take a bunch of turmeric, you don't just take resveratrol or glutathione or different things to get that inflammation down. That helps, and we do those things with patients, but ultimately you've got to stabilize that blood sugar. Every time the blood sugar goes up too high, over 110, or down too low, under 85, you rev up that immune response and you destroy more tissue. Every time you go through your menstrual cycle, or you have a baby or some type of estrogenic event, and you're not clearing out those hormones, you rev up that immune system. Every time you eat gluten, if you have Hashimoto's or some different autoimmune conditions or different food allergies, you're going to rev up that immune system upwards of 6 months every time that happens. So if you have autoimmune and you have inflammation, you've got to start with the underlying imbalances. Beauty is yours 77. Hey, hi, Dr. Ben. Good to see you. Preble office in Southern California. No, so unfortunately, we are not in California yet, but we have hundreds of patients from California that work with F8. And so we can work remotely. All of my metabolic coordinators are remote anyways. Our doctors are in office. So we would love, we have a lot of patients actually fly out to Denver, see Dr. Anderson there, and then we're able to do everything else remotely, or we can just start remote anyways. Cyborg, stage 5 kidney failure, blah. Yeah, sorry about that. That's a bummer. Vivian from Texas. Hi, I bet you can't help me help as I'm in the UK, got vertigo and blurred vision. And O'Hare. So, here's the deal. If you can get blood work done, we can look at it and take a look at what's going on there and give you ideas. The vertigo and blurred vision, there could be an autoimmune component to it if you haven't looked into MS or some autoimmune attacking the nerves. That could be part of it. OCD is anxiety. So here's what we look at. I'm going to get a little bit technical with you. With a brain map, we look at delta, theta, alpha, beta. And the alpha and the beta are the two waves that can have to do with OCD. The alpha is going to be more of the anxiety, worry, rumination, some things like that, versus the beta, if that's high. Low beta is ADD, but high is hypervigilant, can't shut the brain down, can't get thoughts out of your head, you're just ruminating, you can't get songs out of your head, whatever. So if both of those are up, that's usually what we see with a true OCD. And if you can train those brainwave patterns to calm down, I've gotten people that stop plucking out their eyebrows, all types of different things. Let's go here. What type of doctor are you, if you may ask? Yeah, great question. So we practice what is called functional medicine. Every one of my doctors is highly trained in getting to the root cause of what is going on with somebody's health conditions. We're not looking to just cover it up with a drug, cover it up with a surgery, cover it up with a supplement. It is all about doing enough research and in-depth and getting the information on you and getting to that root cause, or it's very seldom just one root cause, it's multiple roots, and it might be 5 or 6 or 8 different systems out of balance. So we go through all of those and figure out what is really going on. before menstruation, entire body flares up in rashes, had to quit my job. Yeah, so Caitlin, this is probably some type of autoimmune issue that gets revved up with that estrogenic event of going through your menses each month. So you've got to take a step back. This is way more in depth than we can talk about on here. Click that link down below, schedule that discovery call. Let's talk about what you have going on, and I will absolutely give you some ideas on if we can help you or not. How to best eat if adrenal fatigue and hypoglycemic? Irene, great question. So adrenal fatigue and hypoglycemia, a lot of times they go hand in hand. And so with those, you're going to need to eat more frequently. Some people are, oh no, I got to do intermittent fasting. If you have adrenal fatigue and if you're hypoglycemic, intermittent fasting is one of the worst things that you can do and most stressful for the body. So what you need to do is look at eating frequent, every 2-3 hours. Don't let that blood sugar go down. You need to get a continuous glucose monitor so that you can now see 24/7 what that blood sugar is doing and why it's crashing, when it's crashing. And you need to increase your fat with your meals. 3, 4, 5 ounces of fat with each meal is going to be great. It could be 4 tablespoons of olive oil on that salad, plus half an avocado. Get enough fat in until it stops going down. That's going to make a huge difference in there. But that continuous glucose monitor is a game changer. Every one of our patients that we start care with gets one of these, so it is huge. Old lady guitar, hello there to you as well. I have gastroparesis for 2 years, and now I have colon, pelvic, and heart problems. Is it because of the gastroparesis? Mate, so here's the deal. If you guys do not, first of all, give me a heart thumbs up, anything, if you know what gastroparesis is. If you don't, you're going to be shocked. Gastroparesis is where people are throwing up even upwards of every day or multiple times a day, maybe once a week, twice a week, but I have so many patients. I had a lady last year, she was throwing up every day for 10 years straight. Now she doesn't at all. She calls us her angels. She's living life again. But can you imagine throwing up every single day? Now I have colon, pelvic, heart problems. Is it because of the gastroparesis? No, I wouldn't say that those are because you're throwing up every day. You're probably not absorbing your nutrients and getting what you need, but that's probably not why you're getting those things. A lot of the why of that you have gastroparesis is not a disease. It's not a thing. It's stimulated by other conditions. So if you have enough systems out of balance, you're going to be throwing up every day. And that's what you got to get your head shift around. It's not how you fix throwing up. It's how you fix the systems that are making you throw up. And that's the same thing with your colon, pelvic, heart problems. No matter what you guys have going on out there, autoimmune, anything at all, you fix those whys, and then you're able to actually start getting rid of those problems. What lab should I ask for? Calorie counting, exercising, and it's so hard to lose weight. Okay, so everybody write this down. Hey, Mandy, thanks for the rose, appreciate it. So write these down, guys. This is what we look for with blood work all the time with our patients. So you need to run a complete hormone panel. You need to look at your progesterone, your estrogens, your testosterone, your adrenal hormones, your cortisol and your DHEA, your thyroid hormones, your T3 and T4. I like both free and total. You need to look at your autoimmune markers for Hashimoto's, TPO and TG antibodies. You need to look at ANA for lupus, Sjogren's, other autoimmune. You need to look at rheumatoid factor for rheumatoid arthritis. GGT is going to be great to tell us if you have fatty liver. You need to look at insulin, but you need to look non-fasting. So go ahead and eat before you do your blood test, see what that insulin's doing. You need to look at your glucose, your A1C, your vitamin D, your inflammatory markers, so many different things. This is what we run on every one of our patients, and you need to look at that, not just those labs, but now you have to narrow it down to a healthy range. And at F8, we have an optimal range that we look at, not just the lab range, which is kind of that bell curve, but we're narrowing it down to what healthy people should be. So those are the things that we need to look for. If you have not been able to get your doctor to run all these, let us know and we can do that. Hey, Lexi, good to see you. We shouldn't skip breakfast. I usually just get up after fasting for 16 to 18 hours and start with coffee. So we shouldn't skip breakfast. Yes, so again, it's going to be better to finish eating by like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, finish at 4 or 5 in the afternoon and then eat by like 8 or 9 in the morning. And that, you know, we are supposed to break our fast. We're supposed to eat in the morning, and then your brain is actually going to repair, rebuild a lot of things better at night if you have not eaten at that point. So Lexi, good to see you. Jerry, good to see you as well. Anything I can do for blood clotting? Old lady guitar. Yeah, you know, there's some specific enzymes out there that are really helpful at helping with blood clots. So you can do some of those. And I jumped ahead here. Hold on a second. I try to scroll, but sometimes it jumps. There it is. And I have diabetes, gastroparesis, non-alcoholic fatty liver, fibromyalgia, and depression. Angela, that doesn't sound fun, does it, guys? Diabetes, gastroparesis, so she's throwing up every day. Non-alcoholic fatty liver because of the blood sugar imbalances, fibromyalgia because there's probably autoimmune and inflammatory process going on, as well as depression. So not fun at all. So here's the deal, guys. This is way more than, hey, try vitamin D and that's going to fix you. Angela, if you really want to get better, click that link in the bio, schedule that discovery call. But I'll break a couple of these down for you. Diabetes, we've got to get a continuous glucose monitor on your arm, on your abdomen, and we're going to be able to see exactly what makes that blood sugar go up, what makes it go down. That is huge. We have to start there. Gastroparesis, we have to make sure that you've got enough stomach acid, that if your gallbladder's out, we've got bile salts coming in, and if you got enough enzymes, you got enough fiber, your microbiome, the good bacteria, bad bacteria is in a good state. The non-alcoholic fatty liver, that's because of the blood sugar imbalances. We get your blood sugar stabilized, and that the liver repairs. Fibromyalgia, could be lupus, could be thyroid, could be adrenals. There's other things. Fibromyalgia is not a disease. It's a condition driven by different systems out of balance in the body. And then depression, we need to do a brain map and see what's actually going on there as well. Julie, how to reverse fatty liver for a friend. Hey, Julie, is it for a friend? No, I'm kidding. It probably is for a friend. So Julie, just like we were talking about, non-alcoholic fatty liver. If it's alcoholic, then okay, quit drinking. You know, there you go. If it's non-alcoholic fatty liver, 99.9% of the time it's because that blood sugar is spiking up, crashing down, spiking up, crashing down. Store glucose in the liver, kick it down the liver, and eventually you get fatty liver. Great part of it is the liver is very quick at rebuilding, repairing, reproducing. So you can heal up that liver very quickly. Number one thing to do is get that blood sugar stabilized, 85 to 110 all day long. How does one clear out estrogens? Lexi, so you want to make sure that your liver is detoxifying as well as it should. It's going to change that chemical structure from insoluble to soluble, make sure they're clearing out. You want to make sure that you're pooping every day. If you're not, it's going to unpackage those estrogens and they're going to get back in the bloodstream. So if you are constipated, if you're not having a good bowel movement every day, at least one, you are going to be storing more estrogens. Kimberly, thank you. Diet is fairly clean, especially for a teen. Gluten-free, only drinks water and electrolytes, very, very minimally processed snacks, but she is chewing gum. We'll try removing it and look at blood sugar during anxiety. So here's the deal. Even if somebody's got a clean diet and even if they're gluten-free, they can still be going hypoglycemic. And that's definitely a thing. Let's go here. Does the vagus nerve affect anxiety? Yeah, yes. So vagal nerve imbalance can absolutely affect anxiety. Vagus nerve helps with the calming, the parasympathetic, but if it's out of balance, it can help create some anxiety in the body. Real interesting study for those of you just jumping on. the aspartame is going to be a huge driving factor in anxiety. People that drink diet sodas, gum, whatever, that have aspartame in them, they are way more likely to have anxiety, and it can cause that anxiety. So absolutely, but number one way to help stimulate vagus nerve, not everybody's favorite, is coffee retention enemas. That means you do coffee enema, but you hold it and hold it and hold it. It stimulates the nicotinic receptors, and it's going to help fire that vagus nerve. Secretly in love with moi. Doctor, I think I have MS. So, here's the deal. Pretty easy to look for that. My mom had MS, and she collapsed at one of my high school football games, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? We don't know. So they went and they did a bunch of MRIs. They found plaquing in the brain, plaquing on the spinal cord, and she got diagnosed with MS. So you can get diagnosed really easy. And then they can prescribe you some crazy drugs to squash that immune system and really try to squash MS. But none of that is going to fix the why. So how did my mom heal from MS? And now she's 79 years old and does Granny Boot Camp, and we'll be going over there on Saturday for Christmas Eve. And my kids stay the night and they play games and all kinds of fun stuff. How does that happen? Well, because she went through system by system by system and fixed what was out of balance. And it wasn't drugs, because she got off all the drugs, and she gave away her wheelchair, she gave away her cane, and now the last MRI, probably 15 years ago, no more plaquing. Her neurologist said, I don't know how that happened, but great, and she doesn't have MS anymore. So even if you do, it's not a death sentence. It's not you're going to be in a wheelchair sentence. I have many patients that had been diagnosed with MS, gave up their jobs, couldn't work, all these things, and now they work full time and their plaquing's gone or has gone down significantly. So it can definitely change. And can you tell me more about Hashimoto's and treating it with lifestyle changes? You betcha. So Hashimoto's, the biggest thing I want you to think about, because probably 20 of you people out there watching have Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is not a thyroid disease, period. Okay, so what does that mean? So many people are like, oh, I've got Hashimoto's, it's my thyroid. But here's the deal, it's not your thyroid. Now, if you've been diagnosed Hashimoto's, it's an autoimmune disease. That means it is your immune system attacking your own thyroid or attacking the bus that transports it around the body, just like my mom's MS was attacking the nerves. So here's what happens is your Hashimoto's is not a thyroid thing. So if all you do is just take some levothyroxine, some T4 hormone, take levothyroxine, take Synthroid, maybe your alternative, and you take Armour or Nature Throid, and you take the thyroid hormone, that does nothing to stop the autoimmune. And here's the problem, over half the people that have one autoimmune condition have multiple. So if you have another autoimmune besides Hashimoto's, no one's going to die from Hashimoto's, but people will get lupus, they can get MS, they can get rheumatoid arthritis. Third leading cause of death when you lump them all together is autoimmune conditions. So you've got to now think about this as an autoimmune disease, not as a thyroid disease. So again, anybody jumping on, I see a bunch of people just getting on. Dr. Ben Gallier here, F8 Well Centers, and we have offices in Colorado, in Tennessee. Margie, do we have a doctor in Chattanooga, Tennessee, like you? No, we don't, but we are in Nashville. So jump on over, see Dr. Steiner, Dr. Sherry in there as well, and they will get you all hooked up, and then we can work remotely on everything else. So Nashville, Denver, Fort Collins, come see us. If you can't make it to one of those locations, let's talk. We can see people all over the country. So Hashimoto's, now it's not thyroid. Yes, you might need to take some thyroid hormone, but now you got to look at it totally different. You got to go, okay, blood sugar, adrenals, environmental toxins, infections, vitamin D, gluten, never eat gluten again. Every time you eat gluten, it can stimulate for up to 6 months of destruction of that thyroid. You've got to work on leaky gut, all of these different things. That's how the lifestyle changes that you need to make, is to fix all those other things. Yep, Karen, it's autoimmune, exactly. So Hashimoto's is autoimmune. Hey, Anna, good to see you. And so again, this is live Q&A. We've got hundreds of questions to get through, but keep putting them down below. And here's the deal, guys. Write my email down, drben@f8wellcenters.com. So DRBEN F8wellcenters.com. If I don't get to your question, put that down below, and I'll answer that one personally. But let me do this today as well. We'll give you some Christmas presents. I have a 5-part series blood sugar masterclass over 6 hours about everything I know about blood sugar. This is one of my specialties, and I'm giving that one away for free. So put your email down below. Brittany will catch that. Send us a direct message. Send me an email. We'll send you that free masterclass. The other thing we can do is send out a free ebook for my Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie book as well. If you want the hard copy, you can get that on Amazon. Dr. Ben Galliard and Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. Do you have an office in Missouri, Brittany? Actually, we have like 3 of my team members live in Missouri, but we do not have an office in Missouri. We have a lot of patients that drive over to Nashville, and then we work remotely with them, or we can just work remotely with you in Missouri, wherever you are. And who do I see, or where do I go to get a brain map? I have a list of health issues. So Courtney Hall, great to see you. So what we have is a brain map. Every one of my offices, Fort Collins, Denver, Nashville, we do brain maps there. There are additional offices around the country that do brain maps. I can't recommend any. I don't know them personally, but let me know where you live. Shoot us a message. Courtney sent me a message at drben@f8wellcenters.com, and let's chat about it. But the brain map is all about figuring out where the anxiety, the depression, the ADD, the OCD, the rumination, the insomnia, all of these things are coming from. And we can do neurofeedback actually remotely. So we have home units that patients take and get amazing results with sleep and anxiety and all types of different things. And let's go here. This is Julie. I have Hashimoto's, high prolactin, H. pylori issues, always bloated. Yeah, Julie. So a lot of people are like, well, that's because of my Hashimoto's. And it's like, no, all Hashimoto's is doing is causing you to possibly have a low thyroid state in the body. That's not causing all these other issues. All these other issues can actually drive Hashimoto's. So H. pylori, a chronic infection, can drive Hashimoto's. Bloated, you probably have some leaky gut, your microbiome's out of balance, all these things in the gut, that can drive autoimmune. So all of these other imbalances, as well as your blood sugar and your liver, all these issues are going to be what's driving Hashimoto's. I want people to get out of their head that Hashimoto's is the problem. Hashimoto's is the end stage symptom of a lot of other issues. What system do you use for brain map? So we use the ClearMind system, Julie, for our brain map, and then for our home unit, we have a different company. We go directly from the manufacturer, and we've set up our own specific brainwave patterns that we want to work on, and some different things for that home unit. But for the mapping, it's we get 10 locations, and we're able to see that neurofeedback potential there as well. Carrie and Karen, thanks for those emails. I have the book though. Yeah, Karen, we can give you an ebook as well. So again, for any of you guys that are looking for a Christmas present, I'd love to give you one. My ebook, Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie, as well as our 5-part master class on blood sugar. This is everything I've ever known or taught people. You can sit down and binge watch me for 6 hours on that one too. Put down your email down below and we'll get that to you, or send us a DM, or send me an email at drben@f8wellcenters.com. Kim, I'm in pain all the time from RA. I can't get an appointment until after June. Well, here's the deal, Kim. Who are you trying to get an appointment with? If you're trying to get an appointment with a rheumatologist and you want to go on prednisone, and you want to go on methotrexate, which is low dose chemo, you want to go on Humira, any of these drugs, okay, you're probably going to have to wait till then. And all that's going to do is suppress the immune system. That's going to do nothing to fix why you have RA in the first place. And that's the biggest thing that I want you guys to get the hang of is think about it this way. If your body is attacking your joint You can't just squash your body from attacking it, because if your blood sugar's off, if your adrenals are off, if you've got a chronic infection, if you've got leaky gut, all these things, you're still going to be damaging other parts of the body. You're not going to fix the why. If you've got a leak and you just keep pouring more water in, that doesn't fix the leak. So let's go here. All right, hi, what helps with nose that's completely congested, have flu A? Katie. There's a nasal spray. If you go to f8wellstore.com, I think it's a sinus spray. I can't remember what it's called on there, Brittany, if you want to put a link on that one. And it's amazing. It clears people out very, very quickly. You can do the Nelly Med, where like Walgreens, you get the thing and you put the salt water in, it goes zzz, and sprays water through there as well. That can really be helpful. Da, da, da. This is secretly, what can I do if I have MS at 17? So again, this is actually great that you're catching it this early, and the body is able to heal so much quicker as you're young. So again, secretly in love with moi, you need to look into getting an MRI done, looking for that plaquing on the brain and spinal cord, but then click that link, schedule that discovery call, and let's talk about it. DP Sherry, if you were tested for autoimmune and doc says all okay, did they test for all? Well, no, they're never going to test for all. I can get you a $500 antibody test that checks for over 50 different antibodies, because here's the deal is, they probably tested for ANA, maybe, but that's probably about it. I don't know, maybe they tested a couple more, but you can look at every different system out there. There's over 190 named autoimmune conditions, but here's the deal: even if it did come back positive, even if ANA is positive and they don't know what it is, it doesn't matter. We've got to go in and we've got to do our work and kill off the bad stuff in the gut, heal up that gut lining, get your blood sugar stabilized, get your vitamin D where it needs to be, all of these different things. So hey Carrie, hey Tricia, we'll get you those books, and great to see you guys. Nicole, where are your offices located? So we have offices in Tennessee, in Nashville, in Denver, as well as Fort Collins, Colorado. And then we work with patients remotely all over the country. Our Nashville office, people drive down from Pennsylvania, from Florida, from Arkansas, from Indiana, all over the place. Everybody wants to go to Nashville, and then we have tons of patients flying from California and all over for Denver. Everybody wants to go to Denver. So we do those, but if you can't get to one of those locations, we can work with you remotely as well. Click that link, schedule that discovery call down below. Let's talk about what you have going on. I'm going to throw this out there as well. Anybody, if you go on that discovery call and you'll schedule a time and talk to the new patient coordinator, tell them that you watched my live today, and I'm going to give you that new patient special at $97. This is usually $150 to meet with the doctor and to review blood work and all those things. I'm going to give it, Merry Christmas, guys. I'm going to give it $97, and I haven't even let my team know this. So Brittany, if you're watching, don't cringe, but you can yell at me later. But here's the deal. Schedule that discovery call, and when you talk to that new patient coordinator, just tell them, hey, I watched Dr. Ben's live on Thursday, and he said if I schedule this discovery call and schedule that new patient program there, we will do it for $97. So just let you guys know, love each and every one of you, and for watching this. Is fresh ginger good for your stomach? It can be. Some people it can be a little bit too irritating, but other people it can be better. Irene, we'll get you that ebook and blood sugar masterclass over to you. Currently, Team Merchant. Currently, TSH is 0.110. So that TSH is too low. If you're taking thyroid medication, I would talk to your doctor or whoever's prescribing it. You may be taking too much. If you haven't checked into Hashimoto's, I would do that as well. I'm a type 2 diabetic. This is Lola. Sanchez, why do I keep getting urinary infections? I pee fine, but a lot of abdominal pain. So the urinary infection, I would, if it's bladder infection, I would go see either a massage therapist, physical therapist, chiropractor, somebody that does visceral manipulation. A lot of times that bladder can get tilted, and then you can kind of store urine. So even when you squeeze it out, it doesn't all leave, and then you can hold it too long and get an infection in there. So I would look physically, that could be out of balance. Lola, here's the big thing. If you want to get over your type 2 diabetes, click that link down below, schedule that discovery call. We love helping people. We just had a lady go from 9.7 A1C down to like 6.3 in 3 months. Still a little bit on the diabetic side, but by the time the next blood work comes around, she's not going to be diabetic anymore. So Karen, is there a discount on blood work if you have recently gotten some of the values? Missing ANA and cortisol labs, mainly. So yeah, Karen, reach out. Our new patient coordinator will talk to you about that. If it's been within the last 30 to 60 days, we can probably reuse some of those. If it's been 3, 4, 5 months, we'll probably need another full panel there. Why do I gain weight? $1 million question, guys. Why do I gain weight? Why can't I lose weight? Isn't that as we go into January? How many people are losing weight during the holidays? Probably not many, unless you just started care with us in the last 30 days. And why do I gain weight? So here's some of the things that you look at. You're toxic, so you need to look in your liver. You need to look at inflammatory markers. You're just holding on to weight. You're eating foods that you're allergic to: gluten, corn, soy, dairy, beans, nuts, seeds. All these different things can do that. Your thyroid's off and you're hypothyroid. It could be Hashimoto's. It could be that you're not converting your T4 to T3. It could be your pituitary is deficient, and that's why your thyroid isn't working like it needs to. So many different reasons why on the thyroid. It could be your cortisol is out of balance, and cortisol can cause you to gain weight. It could be that you're not sleeping well, and that could cause you to gain weight. It could be your microbiome is out of balance. They did a study where they took 2 people and they did a fecal transplant. Anybody give me a heart? Anybody know what a fecal transplant is? Or a thumbs up? A fecal transplant is going to be where they take the fecal matter from one person and put it into the other person to help with C. diff and some other gut infections. But they did it and they flip-flopped. Not only did they flip-flop microbiome, but their belt sizes flip-flopped. So the better the microbiome, the person lost weight. The worse the microbiome, they gained weight. So crazy. Hi, where are you from? Piper Little Dragon. So I grew up in Nebraska. You want my history? I grew up in Nebraska, 18 years, same house. Parents were teachers. Mom had MS. I've got an older brother. Played football, track, was on the honor society, all those different things. Went to Syracuse University and on track scholarship. Ended up getting an undergrad in exercise science. Went to Dallas, of all places, Parker College of Chiropractic. That's where I got my doctorate degree and started learning about functional medicine. And then I've done over 3,000 hours of continuing education. And then we moved to Phoenix, lived there a little while. We're going to take over practice in Oregon. That fell through and ended up in Colorado. And that's how I ended up here. And so now I live outside Fort Collins. We have an office in Fort Collins, have one in Denver, and also have one in Nashville. And we work with patients all over the world. And what's a good probiotic I can take? Brittany, put a link down below for probiotic number 2. And we'll go there. All right. Oop, I missed a couple over here. Hey, Lily, great. We'll get you the book as well as the master class. So again, guys, I'm giving away lots of. I'm feeling really Christmassy today. Last day before Christmas that will be in the office. So I'm giving away my masterclass, blood sugar masterclass, 5-part series, 6 hours of content, everything I know about blood sugar. It's amazing, life changing. I'm giving away my blood sugar ebook. If you want the hard copy, you can get it on Amazon. Otherwise, I can get you an ebook, as well as normally $150 to see one of our doctors and review blood work and everything, I'm giving it away for $97 today. If you schedule down below, click that link, schedule that discovery call, and we'll hit you up and talk about what you have going on. Tell my new patient coordinator that you I told you it was okay to do $97. All right, Nick, my ALT, AST slightly elevated, 19 and 56. I don't like them over 20, so 56 is really elevated. Liver on high to scan otherwise was normal, but pain in right side, tired, and confusion. And you posted those a bunch. Okay, yeah, here's what they didn't test, Nick. They didn't test your GGT, unless they did. If they did, put it down below. But that's going to tell us if it's fatty liver or not. So AST and ALT are both liver enzymes, and those get run on almost every panel. But GGT is what tells us if AST and ALT are high. That tells us if it is in non-alcoholic fatty liver type of a situation. It could be alcoholic, but most people it's non-alcoholic, and most alcoholics unfortunately don't want to get better. Yes, GGT, Nick. If they haven't done it, you've got to do it. Otherwise, we don't know if it's fatty liver or not. So you've got to figure that one out. Doc Tammy here. Did you happen to view my link yesterday? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Tammy. You can send it to my email, Dr. Bennett, F8 Well Centers. Vitamin C not good long-term for your arteries. So, vitamin C, I would definitely take a vitamin C with, that's more like, coming from oranges and some of that. So with the bioflavonoids in them. But vitamin C, really not that bad on the body. Does vitamin deficiencies cause tremors? Potentially. So nerves have something called this sodium potassium pump, and it's what's propagating that nerve conduction. And so if your electrolytes are out of balance, it definitely can cause that. My favorite one, write this down, is Celtic sea salt. So like the Boston Celtics, but Celtic sea salt, and you want to take at least a teaspoon or more, and just keep going up until you stop the tremors. And if it changes, great, it's electrolytes. If it doesn't, then you got to look into some other things. And KMZ Ogelman, thank you for this. You are so welcome. I love seeing you guys. This is awesome. And we've got, sorry, I'm probably not going to get to everybody's question because there's still 100 more on TikTok to go through here. So again, Dr. Ben Gallier here. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Where else? YouTube, over 700 videos on YouTube, and I just love getting information out. This is what I do, but I also practice full time. I've got 6 doctors on the F8 team. We've got over 100 years of experience, so I'm also managing them. We've got over 40 team members around the country, Missouri, Texas. We've got some of our team in the Philippines, California, outside Philadelphia, and New Jersey. We've got Missouri, all over the place. Love our team. Merry Christmas if any of you guys are watching. And we just love helping people. This is our mission, is to get this message out there that the body can heal. The body has that potential inside of itself to truly heal. And it's not an outside-in thing. It's not enough supplements. It's not enough drugs. It is your body has that potential to heal, and that's what I want you to truly think about. Karen, is that similar to Himalayan sea salt? No, totally different. The Celtic sea salt is by and away way better. Yeah. So Nick, again, you got to get your GGT tested to see if it's fatty liver, and if it is, that's a blood sugar issue. Let's fix it. Totally doable. Nick, send us a DM and let's talk about that. How do you fix yeast overgrowth in the gut? Green-eyed goddess. Good to see you. I think you've been on here before. So yeast overgrowth, Brittany, put down the link on TikTok there for the Oregano Max. So F8, if you go to f8wellstore.com, the Oregano Max, #1 favorite kill off ever. I've used it for over 20 years. And so big thing that we're looking at is we want to kill off, and it takes a bunch. We do three times a day, and that's going to make a huge difference. And Do you know about liver disease, the Johns? Yeah, absolutely. So if it's fatty liver, if your AST, ALT, and GGT are high, that's usually fatty liver. If you're not drinking, that's non-alcoholic fatty liver. That's usually blood sugar. Let's get you a continuous glucose monitor. Let's do a cleanse. Let's get you off your food allergens, heal up your gut, everything else. And yeah, we see, I've seen patients go from like really big, like 150, 180, 200, down into the optimal range. The liver can heal very quickly. Tinnitus, yeah, guys, tinnitus, there's so many different things that can contribute to that. You've got to look at the liver, you've got to look if there was damage, a bunch of different things. I wish there was like a thing that I could tell you to do. Do you work with migraine headaches? Taylor, absolutely. Migraines, inflammatory, neurologic, you're not getting blood sugar, you're not getting oxygen, something is going on in that brain. Absolutely, we help people with migraines all the time. Schedule that discovery call. Tell them I told you we'd do that $97 special day, my Christmas special that I didn't tell my team about, so they'll be super, super happy for me. Yeah. So again, guys, if you have not followed my page already, go ahead and follow that. I go live all the time, get you guys tons of stuff. Mandy, thank you for the rose. And thoughts on stopping birth control at 47, premenopausal. So Scout Mitch, my question would be, why are you on birth control in the first place at 47? You know, unless it really is for birth control. You know, that's pretty, if it's for symptoms, that's pretty extreme for your doctor to prescribe birth control to prevent the symptoms. But yeah, absolutely. Birth control is not hormone suppression. It is hormone replacement. And, you know, long-term, if you've been on birth control for a long time, it can be challenging to come off. But you've got to fix why you went on in the first place. If you're on birth control and it's not just to not have babies, but it was to try to suppress symptoms, you need to fix why those were in the first place. Carrie, I don't see a link to set up a discovery call. Brittany, can you make sure on Facebook there's a link? I think if you scroll up, Carrie, you can schedule that discovery call. And how can I heal from anaphylaxis from pool chemicals? Yeah, McKenna, we used to live in Phoenix, and I would go into these pool stores because we had a pool, and it was horrible. Like, I'd get dizzy going in. There's so much chlorine. If you guys know, anything about Phoenix, you know there's pool stores on every corner. And I'd ask the people up front, I'd be like, hey, do you get headaches or anything working here? And they'll say, oh no, we used to, you know, in the first couple of weeks or whatever, but after a while I just didn't anymore. So it didn't mean that your body was good with it. It means it kind of dealt with it. Like, okay, I'm not going to get a headache anymore, but you still have those toxins. So yeah, if you're getting this major immune inflammatory process, again, you've got to look at, yes, it's those pool chemicals, but you got to work on the liver, you got to work on the gut, you got to work on the brain, all these things, so the body does not go into that exaggerated response. Lady T, thank you for the rose. Username Jelly. Dr. Ben, love all the advice. I need all of it. Tuning in from Ireland. Gotta go now. Thank you. You betcha. Good to see you in Ireland. Hope you have a great Christmas. Perimenopause, increasing my anxiety and insomnia. Anything I can do? I'm already on an SSRI. Yeah, so one of the big things you need to look at is stabilizing your blood sugar. This is one of the main reasons why we see people get anxiety, especially random anxiety. Sherry, thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. We'll see you soon. So anxiety, if your blood sugar is crashing down, it absolutely can be driving anxiety. It can be revving up that adrenaline, that cortisol, and you can be getting tons of issues in there. If any of you guys have to jump, and I did not get to your question yet because there's still like 100 more on TikTok to get through, send me a direct message at Dr. Ben, DRBEN, at f8wellcenters.com, or click that link in the bio, schedule that discovery call, and we'll sit down and talk. Or you can send a DM as well. And Anishi Moodley, enjoying your advice from South Africa. Good to see you there in South Africa. And Yeah, I had a gastric stimulator, but it caused seizures. I had to get it shut off. Wow, that's intense. It's amazing what people are going through. Angela here, Angela Martinez, I'm always in pain. Yeah, there is a reason why, and that's what I just want you to think about this. And I just pray for you. Christmas time, a beautiful, amazing time of the year. And if you're in pain, it's just a horrible thing to be going through. But here you go, Angela. There's reasons why you're in pain. It's not just a random thing. It's not just, oh, I'm cursed or I've got a disease or whatever. There are systems out of balance that are driving this immune inflammatory process in your body. It could be autoimmune. It could be inflammation coming from your gut, coming from your blood sugar, your liver, all these things. You have the right, and it is your fate to be healthy and to feel good. And it takes time, it takes energy, but there's potential. We see it every single day, and we get to see miracles. If you want to see changes, click that link in the bio, schedule that discovery call. Paula, any suggestions for lowering cholesterol? Yeah, Paula, here's the number one thing. Some people, yes, it is a genetic high cholesterol, and that's just, I've seen it, they won't ever go below 250, 260, 270, but everybody lives to be like 90, and I'm not worried about it. But for the vast majority of people, it is a blood sugar issue. Their blood sugar is going too high, they're pre-diabetic, they're insulin resistance, that metabolic syndrome, and that is a major, major part of the problem. Lady T, Mandy, thanks guys for all the roses. And excuse me, sir, sassy serotonin. There are married women out there trying to be married. Not quite sure what you're talking about there. I have diabetes. Oh, we talked about that one. Angela, let's get you fixed up. Cortisol needs to be ran with ACTH. Sassy serotonin, potentially. ACTH is the pituitary hormone that tells the adrenals what to do. Most of the time, ACTH is going to be in the normal range, even when cortisol is out of range. So I don't see that being that effective. Or even necessary. I did a heavy metal detox. I'm now on to Parasite Cleanse, changed my entire diet, added teas. DKJ round 4. So for some people, they've been exposed to heavy metals. Other people, they haven't, and heavy metals is a huge one. I know Parasite Cleanse, like on TikTok and social media, it's this huge thing. But Parasite Cleanse, really not that effective for some people. Some people, it's going to be a big thing. So if it's helping you, great. Patricia, Merry Christmas to you and your staff. You guys are so helpful with your valuable information. Patricia, Merry Christmas to you. We will see you in the new year. And Melissa, I've been type 1 diabetic for 22 years. Even type 1 diabetics, we can get them stabilized 100 to 140 every single day if they do what they need to do. I'm diabetic. This is simply Amy 80. I'm diabetic. My feet hurt like crazy. Nothing helps. So here's the deal, Amy. What you need to do is get a continuous glucose monitor and slap that bad boy on your arm, put it on your abdomen, and start seeing 24/7 what that blood sugar is doing. Once you do that, you do more of the good stuff, less of the bad stuff, and it is a game changer. If you can't get a CGM, then you do finger prick glucose monitoring, check 6 to 8 times a day, 45 to 60 minutes after a meal. Do more good stuff, less bad stuff. Do the needles hurt on the CGM, Stacy? No, it does not. I'll do a video on that. I've got to put another one on anyways, and you just go, doop, it just goes right in, and it does not really affect. What kind of snacks do you eat? Most of the time, I don't need to snack because I know what I'm eating at my meals is going to stabilize what I'm doing. But in my drink here, you can see in there, I've got some bone broth. I've got my liver detox powder. I do a scoop of that every day in some hot tea, and I drink on this throughout the morning. I already have my 4 eggs, cabbage, half an avocado, but then I'll sip on this throughout the morning, and then have my lunch, afternoon, usually don't have a snack, and then I'll eat my dinner. So if you can keep your blood sugar stabilized, you probably won't need a snack. If you're hypoglycemic, if you're adrenal fatigued right now, you'll probably need to snack. And I've had 5 hip replacements. If I move, I'm in pain, but I can't stay still to help, please. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, right? Think about that. I mean, it's amazing the things that people have going on. 5 hip replacements. So you've got to work on your inflammation now. And that's not just from getting exercise. That's from what you're putting in your body. That's from your diet. That's from your nutritional deficiencies, all these different things. So I have patients that have bone on bone in their knees. And if they do what they need to do, get rid of their inflammation, they don't need knee replacement, and they're able to do great. How far are EEG needles inserted into a muscle for an EEG test? It just it depends on which you're going to be doing, which muscle. How much does your blood test cost? Do you ship to the UK? Seriously asking for a friend. Do you 1210? So we'll have, depending on, I know you guys don't have insurance over there, but however that works with your socialized medicine stuff, if you can get the blood work done, we can give you, here's the markers that you need to get run, and then you get those tested. And so otherwise, there's certain things that we can and cannot test because it has to get shipped back, and only certain ones can get shipped over. But schedule that discovery call and let's talk about it and see what you're able to do. I have a question. Does tamoxifen have long-term side effects? I'm from South Africa. Yeah, I wouldn't do it forever. I'd figure out what else is going on and work on getting off. Blood sugar issues and elevated liver enzymes in a child related, not enough space for all the info. Natalie, yeah, absolutely. Those are going to be connected hand in hand. If the blood sugar is all over the place, the liver is going to get stressed in those enzymes, especially GGT. You need to look at GGT. But if you've got any specific questions, Natalie, that sounds more in depth than what we have time for on here. Send me an email, drben@f8wellcenters.com. I'll chat about it. Otherwise, schedule that discovery call and let's go through. I have a question. Yep, Stacy, we answered that one. Jacqueline, I'm in the UK. User Hi, I'm from Trinidad, some island somewhere, I think. Wish you were in Detroit. I really need help. Sarah, Ashley. So here's the deal. Come down to Nashville. We'll do a brain map blood work exam. If you can't do that, we can work with you remotely. We'll get your blood work run locally and work with you that way. We do that all the time, all the way from Texas to North Dakota and Hawaii to New York and everything in between. Let's see what else we got here. Dr. Ben's support team, where's the link to pay the $97? So I didn't tell him to do that. This is Cocoa Bronze. So if you click the link, so in my link down below, there's a link tree. Schedule that discovery call. And when you talk to the person about starting that process to get the exam and everything done, tell them about the $97 special. I'll tell everybody. This is Sayonara. I went to CSU. I too love Fort Collins. Yeah, it's a great little town, isn't it? How can I get your ebook? Thanks. So if you, this is Nancy 509. Send me a direct email at drben@f8wellcenters.com. You can send us a DM. You can put your email down below. You can get a hold of us however you can, and we'll send you over my free ebook. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and it's Blood Sugar Doesn't Lie. You can get a hard copy actual book on Amazon as well. It's like $10. And let's see more before I gotta jump. If I had a slightly elevated ALT, AST with an enlarged liver and liver pain, what could it be? So Hank's Rescue. So you need to also run your GGT. So run your GGT, see if you have what's turning into fatty liver. And if your GGT is high as well as your ALT and AST, then it is a blood sugar-based fatty liver 99% of the time. And we will go through, put on your continuous glucose monitor, do your work with your liver detox, work on your gut, do all these things, and that liver can actually start getting in the better size, shape, everything. All right, here's the deal, guys.
I've got to jump. I got to go see patients, but I just love seeing you. Probably not going to jump on again before Christmas. So Merry Christmas, every one of you. Enjoy this most beautiful time of the year. Remember the reason for the season, and just I want you to have faith. I want you to have hope. I want you to have inside of you that knowledge that you were put here for a reason. Your body was designed to be healthy, and that there's no amount of drugs, surgery, even supplements that are going to get you fixed. It is an inside out thing. Your body has that potential to heal inside of you. And so if you're just getting the runaround, if you're just going to see this specialist and that one, and then your primary and they're giving you another drug or telling you it's in your head or anything else, that is not going to be fixing anything. That's covering up symptoms. We do not want to cover up symptoms. We want to fix the systems. So click that link down below if you're on TikTok, in the link tree. Schedule that discovery call. Facebook, YouTube, anywhere. Go ahead and just send over a message, a DM, or there's a link down in the comments there. Click that one and schedule that discovery call. Normally $150 today. Anybody watching these lives, $97. Tell my new patient coordinator that you watched during this time, and we'll love to see you there. Thank you, do you, Sharnay, good to see you. Thank you so much. And just know that there is hope. There is potential for your body to function as well as it possibly should. So love seeing you guys. If you want my free ebook, Merry Christmas. If you want my free blood sugar masterclass, 5-6 hours of content for free, send us a message as well, and we'll get you over as much as we possibly can. Love seeing you guys. For all those that have seen me before, thank you for coming back. Love giving you as much as I can. For those, hey Paula, thanks. Merry Christmas to you. For those that have not before, follow my page, and we go live all the time. I got tons of information, and for those of you that need support, need help, need your health back, reach out. That's our mission. We're not just here to talk on social media and blabber away and sell supplements. That's not my goal. My goal is to change the face of healthcare, to help people get their lives back so they can be more, do more, and give more. So if that's you and you want to take that next step, I'd love to see you guys. All right, be well, everybody.